A warm welcome to Business Daily right here on Trust Television. I am Yusuf Akogu. Let's take the business top stories. Glad to have you back. Now, before we go to the stock market, let's take this track up on the challenges facing pensioners in Nigeria. Take a look.
Most of the work is to do a correct database of Nigerian pensioners who are on the defined benefit. Previously, they were haphazard. That is what happened before. You do not have one place where all the database are there. Old people, they have their challenges, but majority, they present their documents. Where we cannot see a document, we refer back to their old ministry or agency. But you know, sometimes age will show on the way they put in their requests. Somebody will tell you that this is the position that he was, but in the document, it is not showing like that. Yes, but we try, you know, here, the staff, the directors, they were all trained to use empathy in handling pensioners' issues.
Now it will be so easy now for pensioners to have access to their funds, especially with the most of their administrators now having their database. Now let's also take this report about the unemployment in Nigeria, which is of course at an all-time high. It's a major concern for this government. This report is put together by Habibat.
The call to embrace entrepreneurship was promoted by the high level of unemployment in Nigeria, with countless graduates struggling to secure traditional white-collar jobs. Despite the federal government's initiatives aimed at empowering the youth, the unemployment rates continue to rise.
Currently, we are faced with a very conversant reality, which is hunger and starvation in the land. But if you look at it very critical, I think as Nigerians, we also have various responsibilities to do for us to get a better economy. You agree with me that in recent days, we have an exchange rate of the dollar going for 1,100 and so forth. Please, I think it is not just for a one man saddled with this responsibility to control this process. It is our responsibility as Nigerians, with that theme that is there, to redirect our mindset and get it right for us to have national economic growth.
Stakeholders want the youth to shift their focus toward fostering economic growth and contributing to national development.
Most of the negative issues we have in the society around youth, I think it's because of lack of jobs, lack of a future. Many youth don't see a future. And while there are active steps by various agencies of government, by various NGOs and various other bodies. There's also the need to concurrently start doing things that will create those jobs.
In the last few months, in the last few years, we've been able to roll out youths without job, and we've been able to set them on what is called a call to entrepreneurship. And in that call to entrepreneurship, we've been able to let them understand what it is to stand on their own, to have a kickstart. And with little support of money to get them into starting up those businesses and ideas in making them see who they are, identify your potentials, know the things you can do.
The now Senate President expressed confidence in the current administration's ability to transform Nigeria into a better nation.
Glad to have you back. Now we go to the stock market now to give you highlights and indeed update of what went down yesterday on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The market closed on the positive side. The Nigerian stock market closed on the negative side, I beg your pardon, 0.38% it went down yesterday. Volume of trade 298.687 million, value at 4.483 billion naira in a deals of over 5,000 deals there. Of course, in terms of the basis point, the all share index there 67,098.80 basis points. About 215 basis points were shared yesterday as investors, I beg your pardon, take profit on their investment. Let's look at the top gaining equities by, of course, Len Africa topping the chart there, 10% it gained to close at 3 naira and 30 kobo, followed by Darcom. Darcom gained 9.52% to close there at 23 kobo per shares, and of course UPDC completing the top 3 gainers yesterday, 8% it gained to close at 1 naira and 35 kobo. Let's look at the losers. Top losing equities, Mark Nichols down 8.02% to close at 62 kobo per shares. Of course, Omatech on the losing side as well, 8.70% to close at 42 kobo per shares. And of course, Stanbic IBTC 8.49% to close downward, 69 naira and 55 kobo. Let's look at the top trading equities by volume. United Bank for Africa UBA topping the chart there, 56.3 million volume of its shares were traded yesterday. Fidelity Bank also 33.9 million volume of shares, and of course Access Bank Holdings 22.2 million volume of shares of that company were traded by investors yesterday. Let's look at the sectoral performance as it concerns the sectors. Of course, the banking sector there down 1.04% negative. Of course, the industrial sector closed flat on the negative side. The consumer goods also losing 0.28%, and of course, the oil and gas sector down there. Well, up we will say it's also closed flat, and of course, the insurance sector also down 1.08%. It's a negative trade across all the sectors on Thursday. Of course, we don't know what will happen today. We'll get to find out in the course of our discussion with our guests later on the show. Let's look at the rest of Africa. Joburg is down 215 basis points in close yesterday to close at to close downward there 1.01% negative. In Ghana, it down 0.19%, and down there in Nairobi, Kenya, 0.08%. It closed on the negative side of the market. Now, let me talk to my guest, if Jamiu Mohammed is there with me. Mr. Jamiu, good morning. All right, so let's take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to our guests regarding the stock market weekly performance of as it's happened in the week. Don't go away.
There's a problem in Nigeria. Rising unemployment is leading to crime, death, and homelessness.
I graduated since 2020. There's no work. There's nothing.
With no jobs, no money, and no food, many young people are frustrated.
There are many young youths out there looking for what to do. But when it comes to Nigeria, you will see old people doing the work that young people should do.
My own local government is safe. We don't have anybody in this community that is working there.
Lost and forgotten in slums, the echoes of their worries haunt the seat of power, Where is their government?
This village is like we are inside the city and our boys are running up and down, no work.
What is the truth behind Nigeria's unemployment statistic? Beyond the affluence of Abuja's wealthy 1% lies the grief of the 99% struggling to earn a living.
Welcome back. Now, Jamiu Mohammed, the head of capital market at APT Securities and Fund Limited, joins me now virtually from Lagos. Good morning, Jamiu. It's good to see you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be on the program.
All right, let's start from what is happening on the floor right away. What is happening right now? How is the stock market doing now?
Yes, as we speak now, the market has opened 1 hour ago, and as we speak, market has traded around 3.9 billion value of stock, worth of stock traded today. We have about 32 million units of stock traded, worth about 3.9 billion. Out of these 3.9 billion that was traded, we have Geregu traded about 3.2 billion, which is around 90% of whatever total market trade today. And when you look at the gainers and the losers, we have 4 gainers, we have 9 losers. And the generality of what market has gained now is about 0.2%. So as we speak, the market is still young, and we believe that the market towards the end will return to positive, because the only stock that has pushed the stock to negative 0.20% now, 0.2% now, is that loss of 7.22% in Geregu Power PLC. So this constitutes to what we have witnessed as we speak. Market is still young. Remember, we are still in any season. The listed company will start to release their unaudited third quarter result any moment from now.
All right. Talking about Geregu, you mentioned Geregu. I was going there. The company profits increased by 42% in terms of revenue. Talking about profit after tax, it surged about 25% to 17.4 billion. Now, that's a huge gain for Geregu Power there. What can you tell us about it?
Yes, there's a good development there as regards to what they have released so far, and what the figures are still okay. As far as I'm concerned, there's growth in what was declared third quarter in 2022, but the sentiment of the investor cannot be emphasized because of the fact that wherever the market, the result is being released, whenever the result is being released, the perception of the investor is always different from what the market, the result has been released. So the sentiment of investor is at times not in cognizance to what the listed company has released as a result. But as far as we are concerned, there is growth in what they earned in 2022, third quarter 2022, and that's, as you can see it now, we should expect it to move higher than what it used to be. But I may not conclude that investors are not impressed about the result, but I would likely say that maybe the company, the share price has reacted to that result before now. As far as we are concerned, the result is okay compared to what they declared 1 year ago.
All right, talking about what they declared 1 year ago, that is about 10.1 billion naira that was declared about a year ago. And here we are having a very huge number, 17.4 billion there, profit after tax for Geregu Power Plant. You talked about investors now gravitating towards that equity. Tell us how much of a percentage are they likely going to give to their investors in terms of dividend?
And we cannot say now, though the company has its own dividend policy, and also when you look at what they are now, they are about 450 kobo of their earning. They have earning of 450 kobo as we speak. By the year end, maybe they should be in the region of 6 naira. If the company can pay 5 naira, I believe it's going to go higher than this price. Remember, the way this dividend payout now, the company should try to look at what the inflation rate like, because when you are paying when you are paying the investor far lower what they deserve, I think it's not going to be a good one, except they rely on capital gain. Though on the side of capital gain, the market is good as we speak, because the market is gaining more than 30% as we speak, when the inflation rate is still around 27%. So what I'm saying so far is that this listed company, as per the third quarter, they are doing. We expect that the results should be good. Now, as we speak, we only have 2 companies that have released their results. We have UCAP and we have Get a Good Plan. This UCAP also grew their earnings by 40%. I mean, they grew their earning by 7%, and then grew their PAT. They grew their revenue by 7% and grew their PAT by 10%. So this, as the results start to come in, we believe that investors to take more position, and this result may likely drive the market higher than the current level that they have. Even though the result, I mean, the information or the news from around the economies is not that quite good. You know, what are those things that are normally reflect in the prices of those stocks is both the fundamental news and also economic news. No, fundamental news as we speak, they are good as we speak, but the economic news is not that encouraging as we speak. But third quarter result is going to drive the market higher than the current price they have. And I want to implore the investor that they should always make sure they invest in they should engage in value investing, so that by the year end, the result that those companies that have started reeling out from third quarter is a very good one. They'll be able to benefit from those releases.
All right. Before we leave Geregu, let's still talk about how they successfully prepaid a net debt of about 18.5 billion, and also it settled its coupon expenses totaling about 5.7 billion, all in 2022. What kind of milestone are they setting for other companies listed on the stock exchange?
That particular line item you make reference to, I've not actually looked at it to be able to analyze what exactly they have done in that regard. But because just reducing your debt stock does not mean that it's absolutely okay, or you have taken a very good decision. What if you have investment opportunities that will give you higher return than the interest rate that you are paying on debt? Definitely, it's not a good decision if that is the case. But I have to look at that before I know what is happening.
All right, Mr. Jamiu, let's talk about the larger economy now, and of course the impact on the capital market. The exchange rate is very, very high compared to the US dollar. As we speak, it's about 1,175 naira at the parallel market. Of course, the inflation rate is also high, 26.72%, and of course the oil price is also, the fuel price is also high there, over 600 naira. How much of impact is this having on the market or investors' confidence, so to say?
This macroeconomic variables, there are some that are in favor of the market, there are some that are not yet in favor of the, and there are some that favor some sector of the market. If you look at banking sector, for example, the exchange rate is favorable to some of them. That is why some of them were able to release humongous profit for the half year because of the FX gain they have achieved. But those companies under manufacturing or consumer goods services, they are feeling the heat because of the fact that some of their imported, some of their raw material are imported. And because of this scarcity of foreign exchange, is really dealing a lot of issue with them, and this may likely affect their audited report because of the fact that these things are being it impedes the production because of the scarcity of raw material for them to be able to produce on time. So when you look at this exchange rate, it has where it be an advantage to some sector and disadvantage to other sector. So going to inflation rate, the inflation rate is a thing that investors look at before they take their investment decision. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no any investment that you can do now that can compensate for inflation rate except the equity market. If you are not investing in equity market, you are making a loss, no matter what gain they are giving you. Go to fixed income, go to money market, go to whatever short-term borrowing. All of them, they are paying you less than money market, they are paying you less than what inflation rate will get. But as we speak, year-to-date return of our market as we speak is around 32% as we speak, which is far higher than inflation rate. When you look at some of individual stock, if you look at UBA at the beginning of the year was trading around 8 naira, 9 naira. As we speak today, it's around 18 naira. So if I can count many stocks like that. So as we speak, the inflation rate is always made the investor to look at, okay, what are those investment that can compensate me for this inflation? And the only market that can do that is equity market, and that's an advantage to equity market.
All right, a very good advantage for equity market there, just like you said. But for an investors now, a potential investors now, listening to you or watching you now, which sector of the market, segment of the market, will you want them to put their money? We understand that at this period, idle funds are really not available. A lot of the middle class are indeed scrambling to see how they can actually cater for their immediate needs. Which segment of the market do you think those with idle funds can actually put their money right now?
Let me quickly say something. I don't believe that there is no idle fund as we speak. Look at the Securities that the government issued recently. The Sukuk was oversubscribed by more than 400%. So where is this fund coming from? Let me tell you, if there is availability of good investment opportunity, the money that you say or the fund that is not idle will be available, will be made available. So as far as I'm concerned, as we speak, if you look at sectoral indices of the market, I told you earlier that when you look at banking stock, they are the one that have benefited in some of these exchange rate, FX gain. So some of these stock, you can look at those banking stock, especially the top banks, and you can look at them and invest in them. You can also look at oil and gas sector. You know, as we speak now, the global oil market is still growing up, and we see that a situation whereby the country is still working on improving the production capacity, daily production capacity. So you can look at oil and gas sector and also other sector like that. As far as I'm concerned, our market is fundamentally good, and whatever sector you invest in they are very good. What you need to do, you have to shine your eyes and look at those stocks that have fundamental before you can just dabble into any of this investment on the equity market.
All right, Mr. Jamiu, let's look at the performance of the market and, of course, the outlook for the week. On Monday, the market closed negative 0.24%. It went down. Tuesday, 0.43% positive. Wednesday, 0.04% positive. And, of course, yesterday, it went down 0.38%. What do you expect from the market today? You said earlier that the market is still in the negative territory. Are we likely going to close in the negative today or in red?
It's possible that we close on the positive today because of the fact that we have been having it a day gain, a day loss, a day gain, a day loss. And though we have had it, I told you the only stock that brought the market to this level the Geregu power plant that lost about 7.22%. Though it's not one of the biggest cap in the, it's not one of the top 5 biggest cap in the high cap stock in the market, but it has depressed the market into 0.2% as we speak. So looking at this, what the market may likely look at, I believe the market may likely close positive, so that at the end of the day, the week-to-day return will be flat as far as I'm concerned. So, and from next week, that will be on the moving towards the last week of the month. We believe that the companies should start to release their results, and the result, if they are good, as we have predicted, they should likely drive the market to a higher level as it's currently trading.
All right, Jamiu Mohammed, equity trader and head of capital market at APT Securities and Funds Limited. I must thank you for your time for talking to us today on Business Daily.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. With that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back on Monday for more. I am Yusuf Akogun.